Hi, this is Nicole Pitchford, and for this video, we're going to be walking through the steps for how to create a basic flowchart using Flowchart software. So in the previous video, you learned how to set up your own free account with Flowchart. Now, once you've created your account, you're going to be prompted to this dashboard area here. And within Flowchart, you can actually go through and create a flowchart from scratch, or you can use the templates. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be creating from a blank screen. So you'll click right here on blank. And you're going to wait for it to load. Okay, now when you come to the main workspace, you have a grid here. And over to your left are going to be your flowchart shapes. Up at the top is how you can customize the information in your flowchart. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump straight in. For the flowchart, your symbols that are over here on the left, if you hover over them, it will show you what the names of them are. Okay. But you should already be familiar with a few of these that we've reviewed. So for this demonstration, we're actually going to look at an example I have here of a basic flowchart. You have your, excuse me, you have your terminal symbol here, your start, and it's going to be the same one for your end, so your oval shape. You have a process symbol, and you have two decision symbols with your flow lines. Okay, so in order to create this flowchart, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to use the Flowchart software. For your assignment in this module, you're actually going to be recreating this same flowchart. So if you want to work on your assignment alongside this video, you can do that. You can stop and start the video as you need, or run through the whole thing and then come back to it if needed. Okay, so the first step is we're going to start with our terminal signal. So in order to get it on your grid, you're actually going to hover over it, click it, and drag it onto the workspace. Once you do that, you can double click inside the shape and type inside. All right, so that's our start. Our next step, if we look back at our example, is a process symbol. Look for lost item. All right, so we'll go back to Flowchart, find our process symbol, click and drag it onto the screen. You'll notice when I do that it gives alignment, the little blue dotted lines, to show that it's in alignment with the shape on top. It will also, if you drag up or down, it will show you how much space is in between to help you customize the flowchart to your for your desired effect. All right, so we'll let go of that. All right, and for this process, we're supposed to be writing look for lost item. All right, so let's double click inside and type that. Look for lost item. And click off. Okay. Now, in order to connect these two shapes, we need a flow line. So in order to get that on our flowchart, we're going to drag the flow line over. Okay. And you'll see it's already trying to connect it. It's fine. Once you have it on your workspace, you can actually take the endpoints, click on it, and drag it to where you want that endpoint to start. And the other endpoint, just click and drag it to where you want it to start. Now, if I decide that I want a little more space between these two symbols, I can go ahead and grab it with my mouse and drag it as far down or over in any direction that I choose. And the flow line will follow along. Okay, I'm going to let go of that. If I decide that I wanted to delete one of these shapes and start over, I can just right click on it and I can delete. Okay. All right, so let's go to our next symbol in the process. So look for lost item. Now we're going to go down and make a decision. Did you find it? So now we need our diamond shape. Let's grab that, put that on our workspace, and we're going to double click. Did you find it? We're going to type that in. And now we're going to need another flow line. So let's drag that in between our two symbols. And take our endpoints, just clicking on those little squares and dragging it. Okay. Now, I can come over here and I can scroll down so I can see more of my workspace. And let's go back to our example. Now, based on this decision, we need to decide yes or no. Okay. All right. So we're going to take our flow line. I'm going to drag it down here at the bottom and readjust our endpoints for here. Let go. And we're going to need another flow line on the right side of this decision symbol. So we'll just click and put that there. Excuse me. Now, in order to type the yes and no on our flow lines, you might think that you need to click on this to type the text. And you can certainly do that, but it actually makes things a little more difficult because your flow lines try to connect to those text boxes. So the best way to do this is to actually right click with your mouse, or you can double click. Let's do that. We'll double click on the arrow and you can type yes and click off. Do the same with this one, double click and type no and click off of that. Okay. All right, so our next step. All right, did you find it? Yes. If you did find it, then we're going to stop looking. So we need our ending terminal symbol, excuse me. So we need another oval. And we're just going to line that up right there. And we're going to put stop looking. Okay. Now, if we didn't find it, if our answer was no, then we have another decision to make. Do you need it? So let's add in our diamond for our decision. Double click and type in, do you need it? Okay. Back to our example. We need our flow lines. If it's no, we're going to go to stop looking. So let's do that first. All right, I'm going to grab my flow line, put it underneath do you need it. I'm going to drag this end point so it connects with the decision. I'm going to drag this end point so that it's right here, and I'm going to drag it over until it touches stop looking. So you'll notice when I did that, it went ahead and it turned it to the left for me. Now, that was no. All right, so let's go back and we're going to double click on our flow line and we're going to type no. Okay. And you'll notice wherever your mouse is when you double click is where it's going to type the text. All right. Now for yes, if our decision is yes, then we're going to create our flow line going back through the process to look for the lost item. So let's put our flow line, let's drag it onto the screen, take our endpoint and connect it to the decision, and our endpoint with the arrow head on it is going to come over here to look for lost item. And then we can, I'm going to click right in here. Yes. Okay, and then click off. All right, so once we do that, you can see that we've created our basic flowchart. It starts with our terminal signal to start out the process. Our first step is we're looking for a lost item. So in order to look for the lost item, we're going to follow the flowchart to this decision. Did you find it? If you didn't find it, you're going to ask yourself, do you need it? If you do need it, you're going to come back through the process to look for the lost item again. Did you find it? If you did find it, then you're going to stop looking. Okay. Now, so this is your basic flowchart. In the next video, we're actually going to be going through how you would share or print this particular flowchart. So you'll be able to save it electronically and print it if you choose.